Would you like to carry on slamming barracks and tell us about how you've been campaigning elsewhere?
Yeah, better get up there.
Come to the front, come to the front. You talk for about 5-10 minutes. Yeah, and introduce yourself better than I will.
I'm Janette, I'm from Barnet, and I'm a member of a group called Barnet Housing Action Group. We work with the tenants on the West Hendon Estate. I'm just wondering, while I'm talking, is it alright if I pass around our petition?
Yeah,
of course.
Really like to get as many
That's what makes sense.
I
want to get defensive.
I'm not any expert on housing or anything like that. I'm just an ordinary person who got involved because I've been so shocked at what I've seen going on in Barnet. I originally got involved because I got involved with some squatters who were squatting a property to try and stop Tesco's from buying it because we wanted to keep it as a community property in the high road. And then from there I started, becoming aware of what was going on. Also, I've got a 20-year-old daughter, who really needed her own space and needed to move out from living with me, and was just finding it absolutely impossible to find somewhere to live because she's got a health condition and she's claiming benefits. And in Barnet, only 6% of landlords will take rent their properties to people below the benefit cap. So I really don't understand why Barnet Council, what they're doing on West Hendon. They're knocking down 680 council properties and building 2,000 properties in their place, and only 1/8 of the people that live on that estate, you can imagine, a lot of people, like 680 properties, will get to stay and live on that estate. And even then, they won't be council tenants really. They think they're going to be, but I think it's a bit of a con because the 4-storey building that they built is not a council, owned by the council. It's been given to Metropolitan Housing Association, and Barnet Council will be leasing it from them. So anytime they decide to stop leasing it, then the people in that building will no longer be council tenants, secure council tenants as they are now. And like you were just saying, they gave the land to Barrett's. They didn't even sell it.
In West Hendon also?
Yeah, gave the land to Barrett's. And you've just seen this going on all over London. It's absolutely crazy. They've got a massive housing shortage in Barnet of council properties. They had 18,000 people in September 2013 on the housing waiting list, and then how they dealt with that was by abolishing the list. Now we no longer have a list, and we don't know how many people there are waiting, and yet they're knocking down 680 properties. There's nothing wrong with them whatsoever, giving away the land to private developers, and then complaining that they haven't got enough properties to house people, and saying that the reason is that people that can't afford to live in Barnet actually should be moving out of Barnet and living somewhere else. It's absolutely crazy. And now, and I might ask you to look at another petition, if I can find it and read it out to you in a minute. It's online at the moment. It's by the Labour Party. I'm not promoting the Labour Party whatsoever, but it just happens to be a petition because now Barnet have decided that they're going to put up all council rents to 80%.
Oh, consultation.
Well, it's a consultation, but we know what happens in Barnet when they have their consultations. It's all been pre-decided, and the consultation, is just... And they want to put all council rents up to 80% of market value rates. So I really don't understand really how they can think that that's going to help the housing situation in Barnet. It's just absolutely crazy. And like the people on West Hendon, they've been made so many promises by Barnet Council. The regeneration started there in 2002, and it's nowhere near finished, and they've broken every single promise that they've made. There was a huge green space, the Memorial Park. They promised they wouldn't build on that. That is where they've started building now. These new luxury apartments that are going to be overlooking the Welsh Harp. So the people on West Hendon are actually living in the middle of a building site. There's constant trucks back and forth, there's 200-foot cranes, there's all the noise that goes with digging the foundations, and all the rest of it. So I can understand how people in West Hendon have got no faith in the council. They don't trust anything they say because they've broken every promise that they've made so far. So especially, you know, with this, they promised that the buildings wouldn't be over a certain height, and they are going to be. So, and where they put the actual secure tenants is bang in the middle of a car park right next to the Edgware Road, where they used to have these beautiful views themselves of the Welsh Harp and the Memorial Park. Now they're going to just have a view of the Edgware Road, and then blocked by these 4-storey, one of them's 29-storey, I think there's 216 and another one's 24, blocks of flats. And they were very crafty about it as well, because, you know, they're supposed to build 40% affordable, and I hate that term anyway, housing, because it's an absolute rubbish term that means nothing at all. And you know, it's supposed to be 40%, but then, like you've just said, they brought it down and they said, oh, that's not financially viable, and they won't allow the residents to see the viability report, and so now it's down to 25%. But actually, we've worked it out, it's more like 18%, because when they were working out those calculations, they included the leaseholders in those calculations. So, and the leaseholders are getting a really raw deal as well, because they bought their properties under the right to buy, and they're being offered more than £100,000 less than the value that they should be getting for them, and they're being compulsory purchase ordered, and so they've got no choice in the matter. I mean, at the moment they're saying that they won't move. We don't know what's going to happen. We've managed to, since we started our campaign, to knock them up by £30,000. But still, what they are offering them, you can't buy in our area. You can't buy a shed for that much. Well, and that's a bit of exaggeration. You can't buy a garage for that much. You know, never mind a 2-bedroom flat in Barnet. Basically, this is blatant social cleansing. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing else about it. It's blatant social cleansing. Like, it's same as what's happening all over London. Barnet Council want all the poor people out.
Oh, yeah.
And they keep talking about people who can. We want people in Barnet who are financially contributing and all this. They don't want people who are not working. They don't want anybody who's got any health problems or all they want is people with money in Barnet, and basically they don't care where you go. I'll just finish with, right, I'm sorry if I'm going on. I'm a bit nervous. I'm not used to public speaking.
I was going to say, this is all like really important to spread this information, but I know I've seen really good pictures of the protests you've done and different actions that you've done.
Yeah.
Would you tell us a bit about how you've actually taken action against the developers and against the council in West Hendon Estate?
We did a march. We started off with a march. We marched to see our local MP to hand him over a petition. He was having a public meeting in a church hall. When he found out we were on our way, he decided to make it a private meeting. When we got there, there was 4 or 5 police on the door, and we weren't allowed in. And we had Labour councillors with us as well. They wouldn't let them in. We had pregnant women, children, 2 priests, you know, completely ordinary, non-threatening people, and they wouldn't allow us in. He wouldn't come out and speak to anyone. We stayed there for hours waiting outside, and he kept saying, oh, he'd be out in an hour. Then it was 2 hours. Then he said he'd only speak to 3 people. In the end, he phoned a police van came. More and more police came. It's about 15 police there in the end. And they sneaked him out the side door, and he got into a police van, and he would not even talk to us by opening the window of the side of the police van. He found us that threatening. So that was the first action we did. We've done, what else have we done? We've done blocking the lorries, because that we decided that the best thing to do is start hitting them in their pocket, because the only thing they understand is money. So we've been blocking the lorries from going in. We had somebody who locked herself onto the gate, and so that they couldn't get any lorry. We've done that about.
These are the lorries that are building the new.
Yeah, about 3 times we've done that. We've been down to City Hall and protested outside there. We've done so much, I can't think now. Just
That's great.
Yeah.
It's really useful to hear what you've done there, because we're just starting in this.
Yeah.
Well, we had a lock-on in 2010. Fran held up building by half an hour.
But you know, we had a meeting with the partnership board last night, and I think the most worrying thing of all, they try to set people against each other, because what they're doing, they've got one thing will happen for secure tenants, something else for insecure tenants. But actually, what they've been doing, they've been so clever on that estate. They've been shipping people in there for years, homeless people, and they haven't even got insecure tenancies. They have what's called temporary tenancies. Some of them temporary rolling weekly tenancies. Alex is going to speak to you. Himself has been there 9 years on one of these tenancies. So we know someone else has been there 13 years on one of these tenancies. But now they're saying because of this new act that came out in 2012, you have to remind me what it's called. Where's Alex?
Localism?
Yeah, the Localism Act, that's it. That anybody who moved onto the estate after 2012, they won't be entitled to be rehoused. And even the ones that they are taking responsibility for rehousing, they're not doing it from the date that they first rehoused them when they were homeless. They're only doing it from the date that they moved onto the estate, and they're still shipping people, they're still moving people in onto that estate now, even though we've got all this going on, you know. And I would just say, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a UKIP supporter or anything like that, and I'm quite happy for anyone to come and live in Britain. I've got nothing against anyone becoming a British citizenship. I would encourage it if, you know, that's what they want to do and they need to do, and I'm not against that at all. But I think it's absolutely ridiculous that you can become a British citizen in 5 years, but you can live on a regeneration council estate for 13 years and you still don't qualify to be a secure tenant. It's absolutely crazy. And I just think it's because the ultimate aim is to get rid of council housing completely. That's what they'll do. They just want to get rid of it.
Like I'm saying, guys, and if you could tweet this, that would be great. Back soon.